Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to find the equation of an inverse. In the previous video we looked at the graph of an inverse, and now we're going to look at the equation. So it's basically a three-step process, or two if you want. So the first thing you do, well, in order to get the equation of the inverse, you need the original. So you would write the original function y equals f of x. So basically you need to throw the y in there. The second step, and this is where we get the inverse part, remember that an inverse basically switches the role of the domain and range. So it switches the x and the y values. So that's the second step. You're going to interchange the x and y. The x and y variables, because that's what an inverse does, right? It just changes the roles of x and y, changes the domain and range, sort of switches them around. And then if you did that, you'd have y in f and x would be isolated, but that's not what you want in a function. So the next thing you would do is you would then solve for y. And this equation would be your inverse. The equation is y equals f inverse of x. Okay, so let's just look at an example. So find the inverse of so f of x will be, let's go with x cubed, let's go with 2x cubed plus 4 just to make it more complicated. So step 1 says write the function y equals f of x. So we don't have a y in here. So we're going to write, instead of f of x, we'd write y equals 2x cubed plus 4. So just instead of writing f, we're going to write y. Step 2, we're going to interchange the x and the y variables. So instead of writing y, I'm going to write x, and instead of writing x, I'm going to write y. Now this is a weird looking function. Usually y is isolated. So step 3 is we will solve for y. So we just need to rearrange this thing so we get y by itself. So we'll subtract 4 from both sides. X minus 4 equals 2y cubed. We'll divide both sides by 2. 2y cubed divided by 2, those reduce. So we've got y cubed equals x minus 4 over 2. And then to get y by itself, you're just going to take the cube root, do it here, of both sides. And the cube root and the cubed would undo each other. So y would be equal to cube root of x minus 4 over 2. I'll just switch the order here. Y is equal to cube root of x minus 4 over 2. So this is our inverse. Right? As we said in our steps, the resulting equation is f inverse. So we could write f inverse of x is equal to cube root of x minus 4 over 2. Remember the original function, f of x was 2x cubed plus 4. So there's f, this is f, this is f inverse. If you want to check, you couldn't check for all points, but check that this works for, let's say, a specific point x equals 1. So what we'd have to do there is check, what does f at 1 equal? So f at 1 is equal to 2, and we'll just sub 1 into our function f, plus 3. So that would be 2, 1 to the power of 3 is 1, plus 4, 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. So f at 1 is equal to 6. That means that f inverse of 6, or this is, should take us back to 1, right? So if I sub 6 into this equation, 6 into this equation for f inverse, minus 4 over 2, cube root of 2 over 2, which is the cube root of 1, which, lo and behold, ran out of paper, is equal to 1. So that's mighty good. It works for this value. And you could check a bunch more points if you want, but if it works for 1, it's probably good for the rest. And as long as we didn't make any other mistakes. Okay, so that's the process of finding an inverse. Just because I got some more time, this video isn't taking too long, I'll do another one, but this one's not going to be a function. So find inverse of, this one will be, let's go with it. We've already seen a quadratic is not an invertible function, right? Because it's not a one-to-one function. But you can still find the inverse, right? Step 1, y equals x squared plus 4. Step 2, switch the x and the y around. So x equals y squared plus 4. And step 3, you don't have to write 1, 2, 3 every time. But if you want to, go nuts. We solve for y, so we get y by itself. So I'll subtract 4 from both sides. I'll take the square root. And don't forget, when you take the square root of both sides, like this, you have to take the plus and minus of one of them. So we'll do the plus and the minus. So y is equal to plus or minus x minus 4. And sort of the plus and the minus is really the issue here. Remember, y can only take on a unique value, but that plus and the minus means you're going to be taking on a positive number and a negative number. So it won't be unique. So in this case, because this isn't a function, don't write. See, I'm going to write it, but you're not going to write it. So don't write f inverse of x equals plus or minus x minus 4. And the reason you don't want to write that is because this notation suggests it's a function. But this is not a function. So you can't use function notation if the thing you're talking about isn't a function. So we wouldn't use this notation here. You could still write it just like this, y equals plus or minus square root of x minus 4, because it's just a relation. This is not any special notation. It's, I don't know, relation notation if you want. And that's fine.